The truth can hurt you, or the truth can change you. What will truth do to you? The truth can hurt you, or the truth can change you. What will truth do to you? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The truth can hurt you, or the truth can change you. What will truth do to you? The truth can hurt you, or the truth can change you.
children is success academically today. So please do not go in on it, because today's topic, like I said before, is going to be informative and educative. I am Adeyinka Ademi. I am the host of this beautiful program that comes every Wednesday on Peace and Giant TV. As always, I brilliant to share this here. And we are broadcasting live from the studios of Peace and Joy in the heart of Manchester, Levenshire, and we are reaching out to all over the world. So if nobody from the family heard about it, it is your duty to help share this podcast so they can hear about and know about this job and things. So please don't keep these blessings inside. Help sharing so that all people hear about it and see it and participate as well. Remember the topic that we are discussing this afternoon, breaking barriers. So, Pauline, what do you understand by breaking barriers to success? And what are the barriers that people can come across or encounter in life?
Okay, so breaking barriers to success. A barrier is something that stands in the way, okay, of someone doing something. So that's a barrier, like a fence, could be a barrier. Or if you are going on the motorway on a small road and there's a boulder on the road or a tree falls, then it acts as a barrier. So a barrier is anything that could slow you down or hinder you from getting to your destination, which is what success is all about. Because when we say breaking barriers to success, the question is, what is success? Yes, a popular definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. To simply put, success is achieving a goal, to moving towards your goal. It's a journey. It's usually not a one-day thing. But before we answer this question, I think it's very important for us to look at what success is, because we're talking about success. How do you equate success? I think it's important because when success for themselves, it brings a lot of peace and happiness and contentment, and so they're not comparing themselves with other people. Okay, so what is success to you? What is the goal for you that makes you feel accomplished, if I may say? So having said that, we're looking at what are the barriers to success. And as I said last week, I'm not sure if I shocked you or not enough, but the most important and primary barrier to success is you. And when I talk about you, it's not surprising, because a lot of the times we think about other external factors. But when we are focused on the external, then we don't take responsibility. But when we start focusing on us, what is your mindset about what you can achieve? What is the goal you have in your mind? Because if you have a goal, then you know something you're working towards. So what is the goal? What is the goal you have in your mind? Do you believe in yourself that you can do it? Do you have any limiting thought or limiting beliefs about being able to achieve one thing or the other? Do you believe that because of where you live, because of your background, you may not be able to achieve? So it's about you, it's about your thoughts, it's about your beliefs, it's about your effort, because we have all of that. It's a package. So it's not just one straight thing that can affect somebody when it comes to you, your contribution.
Thank you. That really shocked me last week when you said that. And again, it's like I'm hearing it for the first time as well. So what she's saying this afternoon, that you are the only one that can stop you from getting to that success, from getting to that place that you have always dreamed of. It's only you that can stop you. But for today, we will be focusing on barrier to education or education. We want to find out the fact that a person should give up being successful if they are not academically brilliant. That's what we want to focus on today, because some people believe that it is one route, and if you make that route, you can never be successful in life. And schooling has become very essential nowadays. Are we escalating it or making it bigger than it is, or that important? Is it that important for people to be educated, or it is not?
Yes, I think education is important. A basic education, the formal. So we're talking about formal education here,
Yeah.
if I believe so, because there are
Yeah.
different types of education. There's formal education. That is when we all send our children to school from the time they are 3 to the time they are 18, and then they go to university and so on. So that is formal education. Yes, formal education has a role to play in helping us learn, helping us think differently, and just helping us to become, complete human beings that are able to relate with people at different levels. Okay, so education has its role in that way. Now, is education the only way to success? Now, education is one of the routes through which people can achieve success if they make the wrong, or when they make the right choices of career and so on. Okay, every child has the opportunity to go to school, so you don't have the choice, apart from a part of the world where maybe people don't have money to send their children to pay for children's school fees and things like that. But in this part of the world where we are, every child should be in education till 18. Therefore, if a child is in education, I believe that they should be able to maximize the opportunities in education. Now, when I said before that when a person or a parent guides their child into first aiming to be high achievers, okay, being a high achiever opens you doors to the best institutions. You have a variety of really good choices, opens you options in terms of career choices. So there are some very competitive careers that if you don't get certain grades, you'll not be able to have access to. So yes, being educated can help give you a good life, okay? And for one person, that will be success. Now, if we look at success in terms of amassing huge amounts of money, I can then query that as well, because I can say, you've got so much money. Maybe you are at the 1 million naira or dollar or pound level.
Yeah.
But there are people that are multi-millionaires, there are people that are billionaires.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at that, what are you comparing yourself against? So we need to be sure about what we want. So for someone having a good career that will enable them to live a good life, to afford what they want for themselves, to live in the neighborhood they want to live in, okay, for that person, that is success. Now, is education the only route to success? No, because the media showcases the most successful people on earth as being entrepreneurs, as being people that have invested in developing their natural talents and giftings in the area of music, of arts, and sport, really. So yes, there is, you can make massive success, massive financial gain through those other routes. But when we look at the figures, I was sharing some figures last week. I did some research and I found that there are 36 million millionaires on earth, and they only make up 1% of the world's population. So it's a fraction again. So what happens to the rest? Do we say because you can't become an entrepreneur, just, don't worry? And that is where education comes in. And when we look at people who go on to succeed in music, research shows that it's less than 1% of all musicians make it to elite level, become popular and very wealthy. Same goes with sports, meaning that children, parents should be able to support their children so that they maximize their potential. And as they are going on in education, they can also develop other skills. I definitely believe that God has endowed every child with unique talents. Okay, so it's important that as parents, when we pick up those talents, that we support our children to nurture them. We never know where they'll go, but I don't encourage nurturing talents and just abandoning education. I think we can support our children in both areas.
Thank you very much. So is being educated a straight way to success then? Do I have that guarantee that I'll be successful if I am being educated?
Okay, so if you have in mind where you want to go. So let's, we're starting with the end in mind. So where do you want to end following the career path? Okay? If you know where you want to end and you really want it, then if you get there, then you would say you have succeeded. Okay? If you maximize it. So let's say, for example, you want to become maybe an investment banker, okay? And you get very good grades and have the opportunity to study in a university like Oxford or Cambridge, maybe go into politics, economics and philosophy, and you study a degree in that. Now, by the time you leave that university, the opportunities are immense. However, if you go study the same course in a different university of a lower standard, you will not be hot cake on the market as someone who went to an elite university. It could be in the UK, could be in America, the Ivy Leagues, the Russell Group, it could be in any part of the world, in any part of the developed nations, it works in the same way. So yes, I do think that education will guarantee, if people make the right choices, success. Again, if that is what they want. But some people start with education and then branch into other things, because a lot of people develop their true passions as adults when they're already in something else, and then they develop, well, I had this gift, I had this passion, and then they develop it. And I think that education is good. Choosing a good career and a financially rewarding career is important, because when you now have the ability to earn, to have a large income or a good income, then you can save, accumulate money to start your business. A lot of people have lots of ideas, but they don't have the finances to start. So I think that's a good foundation.
We're going to go into that later, but let's try and focus. Okay. So what role does the environment and the upbringing play in the academic success of a person? Because some people believe that the area that you're raised or you live in would determine, how far you can go in life. Is that true? Is that a truth?
Okay, I do not agree that your upbringing or your environment solely determine how far a person goes in life. It's true that if a child, for example, is brought up in a family where the parents are highly educated, the parents value education, they invest time and money to support their children through school, put them in the best institution, give them the best opportunities, then that child has a higher probability of doing well in school compared to a child who comes from a home where the parents are not interested in education or they don't see the need for education. The parent never ask the child, how was school today? What did you do in school? Did you enjoy the lessons? And I'll shock you by saying that when I used to work as a teacher, I would have parents come to parents' evening, maybe in term 2, and we're talking to them about their child's performance, and it's the first time they hear about it. Now, in such a home, when a child goes back home from school, the parent doesn't find out, do you have homework? Have you done your homework? They don't find out how will such a child really push themselves. I mean, unless they are really very determined, So, yes, that aspect can affect in that way. Now, also the environment. When we talk about environment, I think about where you live, and that affects the type of school a child goes to, maybe it's a person or people that your child relates with. So, yes, those can affect or influence in one way or the other. Now, this is where parental input becomes important. So you as a parent, being the primary and most important teacher in your child's life, meaning that you are there, you are on top of it, you're following up your child's studies closely, you are setting boundaries, in your child's life, you are talking to them and having a relationship with them so that you can be a greater source of influence in their lives compared to peers. Because when you're not, then they'll be hearing from their peers and doing what their peers want, are doing. So that becomes important. But I will say that environment and upbringing should not stop a child or a person from achieving their potential. There are lots of self-made millionaires, on earth, which means that people that came from nothing, they didn't inherit wealth. So they made it themselves to the top. So there is no limit to what anyone can achieve.
Thank you, because from the beginning you said it is only us that can stop us from getting there, and that also I asked that question. How can a child that is born with fewer privileges, that is poor, the very poor, uneducated parents, lack of role models, there's nobody to look, up to or to copy or to want to be like, to emulate, how can they emotionally, educationally disadvantaged? How can they have come from educational a disadvantaged area as well? How can they compete with all the children that they have all the things going on well for them?
Okay, yeah, that is, unfortunately, that is a sad truth that you just said. However, in that case, so we're talking about a child from a background where, they are in a tough environment and going to a school that is not very high achieving. Yes, in that case, I believe that schools do a lot. Schools do a lot to support children. Okay, the child goes to school to learn. So if your child is paying attention in school and then studying at home, they will do well. Now, parental input at that point becomes really important. Okay. Involved, then it will mean the child would have to be self-motivated and have
so how can they
desire.
motivate themselves in such environment where we have some parents that they drug addicts themselves,
Yes.
they drink, they're dependent on alcohol,
Yeah.
They're not there for themselves, just like for a child. How can such children motivate themselves to higher level without their parents?
It will be difficult unless the school is a school that has leaders or senior management that has a heart for the children. So what do? They encourage the children, they challenge the children, they bring in role models to talk to the children, they bring in external speakers. So the school would have to do it. Because children naturally, especially when they are surrounded by other negative influences, they would really not be motivated themselves. That is a fact. So the school would have to play a role, or the parents play a role in that case.
Thank you very much. And I want to say this, I don't know, maybe it's too early to say this right now. Even you, auntie, cousin, nephew, neighbor, when you come across such children, that in Africa we have this adage to say, two people, that's a man and a woman, will bring forth a child into this world, but it takes the whole village to raise that child.
The community.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I believe we are part of the community, and when you see such child that is struggling, that doesn't have any positive influence in their life, you can step in to say, I want to take this on board, I want to help this child to go far in life. We can all do it.
Yeah, I think that is really important what you've just mentioned. The community input, especially because I was speaking now generally. I wasn't relating it to our community.
Yeah.
But at a community level, there is so much that can be done. And I do a lot of work within communities. And what I encourage communities, because in this part of the world, for example, where do we gather? We gather most in churches, mosques.
Yeah.
There are cultural or groups, cultural groups and things like that.
Yeah.
And I do challenge leaders of those little group communities. It is our role to empower our young people, because a lot of our young people are in this situation, that we've just described, where they are going to schools where they are not very much challenged, where they receive a lot of negativity, they are limited, their mindset is changed, they don't see anything good about them.
No.
So as a community, as church leaders, we need to invest in our children and our teenagers. We need to catch them young. We need to challenge them. We need to celebrate their achievements. So it is the community, yes, has a great role to play
Thank
in
you.
this case.
Thank you very much. I heard that there are some, certain illnesses that could be responsible for why some young people might find it difficult, to assimilate or understand things naturally, and some struggles to even put their thoughts together. Is there any truth in that, Pauline?
I'm going to describe two types of learners, and then we look at the disabilities. So there are slow learners and there are fast learners. So if children do an IQ test, some would have a higher score than the other. Now, I always say that whether you're a slow or fast learner, if you put in effort, you would have results. Okay? So it's about knowing what sort of learner your child is and helping your child know what type of learner they are. So if you need to spend more time, you are patient with them, you support them through the process, and that will help them achieve their potential. So that's about speed of learning. Now there are two other groups of children who learn in different ways. I love to use the word learn in different ways because I don't like labels. We have those described in education as having learning difficulties. And these are children that have, they learn in different ways. So we've got dyslexics, we've got dyspraxia, dyscalculia, and all these words. Now, what it simply means is that this child needs to learn in a different way to others. Their mental capacity is not affected. The brain is not affected. Thinking, reasoning is not affected. It may be slower, or you need to just find what is the right way, or help your child discover what works for them. Now, if you're a parent of such a child, please don't impose on them to learn in one way. Okay, research shows that a multi-sensory approach is key in helping children learn. So children need to be able to learn in different ways. It means they're not going to sit down at the table necessarily, put their heads down as we all did when we were growing up, and study very seriously.
Even without light.
And without light, that's right. On the bush lamp we used to call it, isn't it? Yes. So that is it. So you need to understand that your child learns differently and help them to own the way they learn. Schools teach these things to children. Now, once your child grasps their learning style, then they can assimilate any facts. Okay, if I've done a lot of research in this area, and there are medical doctors, there are engineers, these are very, academically challenging course programs that are dyslexic. Okay, so if someone says your child is dyslexic, they are not condemned. Okay, so don't feel depressed or sad. I know as a community, it's not something we receive very well. But it just means you as a parent needs to understand what dyslexia is. Okay, so don't go binding devils. Understand what dyslexia is and understand how you as a parent can support your children. There are a lot of support groups out there. There are a lot of coaches out there for each of those different, to support parents of children with each of those different learning styles, difficulties. Now there's learning disability, which are different conditions that affect a child's cognitive ability. So it's the child's brain performance. So in that case, those children may not be able to learn. They would struggle to learn. However, such children will have strength in other areas. So for such a parent, usually children with such disabilities go to special schools. So within such settings, it's a question of focusing on what is my child's strength. I've had parents ring me and they are almost depressed because I've been told my child has this disability, they've moved my child to a special school, my child shouldn't be in that kind of school. It is not a stigma. Okay? Love your child, understand your child's condition, understand how you can support them, help them to identify their strength, and develop that strength.
Thank you. Thank you very much for saying that. I deliberately include that question to be part of this, because I know some people might be watching this show now or listen to us online, and they might be thinking, you're talking about people being academic brilliant and harder to be successful, but my child can't even understand, can't read, can't talk, can't walk properly, can't do things like other children, and you still have something and you don't appreciate it. I just wanted to know that you should appreciate what you have as well. That child that God has given you is for signs and wonders. He's a light that you cannot be hidden. You can't hide that child. Be proud of that child. It is a gift that God has given you. You just need, as a parent, now God has given you an assignment to find out how you can help that child to be what God wants that child to be in life. So please do not be depressed over it, and when they give you a label, don't think, oh, this is the name they're calling my child now. You want to lock yourself up in the house, or the child not to go out. Please mingle with people, network with other parents, and they might be in the similar situation with yourself, and move on. Be happy with what God has given you. That child will surprise you, and you will be happy in life eventually.
And I just also add that if parents are honest, because I have 3 children and I work closely with them, so I understand each child's ability and know their strengths. So if the school, whatever the school says, doesn't surprise me. So we shouldn't be surprised by this thing, because you have your child with you. If you're following them closely, you will know that when I sit down with this, my 2-3-year-old, and I'm showing them this and I'm showing them that, maybe I'm showing them colors, wanting them to remember, maybe it takes them a bit longer to remember. So these are little things that you can do as a parent who is involved in your child's studies, such that you can pick up these things and start to work on them from early on, than, waiting for the school to tell you later on your child is this and that, and you start to feel frustrated about it.
Thank you. And sometimes it's because we want to live in denial. We don't want to accept. And again, it's something, sometimes we need to accept our faith, and carry across and embrace it. And that will make the journey easier for us. Pauline, I conducted a research on teenagers, and the result of the research says that teenagers struggling mostly with pressure in the form of comparison. I mentioned that briefly, and judgmental attitude from both parents and their peers. What can you say about this as a teacher?
Okay, so we're talking about comparison in terms of academic performance.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, so it is a mistake. So we shouldn't compare children. Okay. Now, there is negative comparison. Okay. Oh, this is better than no. Okay, look at your friend there. They can study this quickly. Have you got water in your head? So that is really bad. You hear all sort of things.
I know.
Yes, so that is bad. When you compare your child with others, you make them feel inadequate. You make them feel they're not good enough. You make them feel small, and you discourage them. If they feel there is no point in trying. So please, let's encourage our children. They're already surrounded out there in school. The media is showing them so many things that they feel in their minds they cannot become. So we need to support them. And I think it's easier when you understand your child to be able to support them. But when we compare our children with other children, it's because we don't understand our children. Because if I know my child, I won't bother comparing them with someone else's child. You say, okay, that one doesn't study, but they always pass. Yeah. Okay? Actually, I'm not at home to know if they don't study. Yes. And they may be fast learners. And so they just study for a bit and then they do it. But my child isn't. So they need to study more to do well. So when you understand that, you're not going to compare your child with anyone else, and your child will be able to thrive at their pace and grow eventually.
Thank you very much for pointing that out. But as a parent, and as an African parent, not just any parent, we love to motivate our children, because we don't want them to be what we were, or we want them to be better than us, and we want to see them do good in life. How can we motivate them to, to do more than what they're doing at the moment, to make them to achieve, the best without damaging them?
Okay, fantastic. So yes. So how do we motivate our children? There's several things we can do to motivate our children. I think the most important motivation is the motivation that comes from within. And from within your child, not from you now, from within your child. So how does your child own it and get motivated to pursue their goal? I think it's about helping them to understand the big why. Interestingly, a lot of children don't know why they have to be in school, why they have to be studying.
Educated.
You know, research shows that the average teenager does not think about the future. They don't think, oh, well, I have to, study hard and have A grade so that I can become something in future, unless they have external influence. Someone like the parents, talking to them regularly, or the school talking to them regularly and showing possibilities. So we motivate our children by helping them understand the essence of education, by showing them how people have become successful, have lived the life of their dreams through education, by exposing them. Okay, what's one of the things we usually do?
When you say exposing them, what do you mean by that?
Okay, exposing them to people that have been successful, to the other side of life.
Yes.
Okay, so what we usually do, it could be here, we drive around areas where, those very affluent parts of the city. And when we go away on holidays to any country, we drive around those places, and as we drive through those places, we are talking about, oh, this person has an amazing house, it's beautiful, amazing environment, and what do you think they did to get there? So we're getting into conversations to get them think. Okay, so we need to do that intentionally to get them think. And as you keep exposing them, you raise their aspiration. You do not aspire if you do not go out of your environment. So it's a mistake, parents. If we're living in very deprived communities, we need to start to go out there, break out, and let our children see the other side of life so that they can start to aspire. So exposure is really, really important. It could be even in the community. We are blessed to have a very diverse community with people that are successful at different things in career, in businesses, people doing different things. Let's expose our children to them. Let's encourage those, we can arrange or organize to get those people talk to our children about what they did to get there. I believe as parents, we have to be intentional. We cannot do anything if we don't have intentionality. So we need to know, what do you want for your child? What is your vision for your child? When you have a vision for your child, then you start to put all the pieces of the jigsaw in place to ensure that your child actually gets there. Then take them step by step. So talk about what do you want to be in future eventually. You can support
Well, they
them.
keep changing, Pauline.
That-
one minute they tell you, I want to be this, and next time you have that conversation. I don't know about you, parents. Please, if you're watching us right now or you're listening, you can give us a call here in the studios on 079 603 91983. I want to hear your views. As some child are so sure of themselves.
Yes.
Like my boy now, he has always been saying, I want to be a doctor. Then all of a sudden, I want to be a footballer. So I don't know about you.
Okay. Yes. So yes, it's okay for them to think different things, but it's bad when they don't think anything
At all.
And I tell you, I had students in year 11 who did not know what they wanted to do, and there is a problem there because in the British school system, your subject choices are kind of linked to what you want to do eventually later on. Especially if you want to go into some very specific fields, you need to be sure of where you're going. When you're choosing those subjects, sometimes in year 8 or in year 9. So it is okay, it is good for children to have an idea. Even if they change along the way, it's not a problem, but it's bad
Not to have
an idea. So when your child has an idea of what they want to do, what I encourage parents to do, okay, let's explore it. Okay, you want to be this. Let's see what subjects you need to, what are the entry requirements. What do you need at GCSE? What do you need at A-level? What are the best universities for that program? Because I am convinced that any course can lead to massive success. Any course. If you are your child is a high achiever and they go to the best university for that course, they will do well. So that's it.
Thank you very much. You know, what we've been saying now, you know, some children have said that it has caused misunderstanding between them and the parent. And the parent don't just understand. That's what some children said to me, that they just don't understand. They just shout them up and, you know, shut them down. And how can we build this damaged relationship between parents and the children because of all these barriers? I want to be this. No, I want it to be this. You don't understand. I've been poor all my life and I don't want you to be poor, you know. And some children actually said, my parents want me to be what they couldn't be or what they couldn't achieve in their life. Like a parent wanted to be a doctor. My mom just wanted me to be a doctor all because she couldn't be a doctor. And now she wants me to be a doctor. And that relationship between the mother, the parents, you know, have been broken. How can we build this relationship back?
Okay, I think it's a mistake, you know, to say that your parents want you to be what you couldn't be. The reason is because as adults, we are living in real life. Okay, we know the challenges of life.
Yes.
And so there's no way you want to guide your child down the route that will not give them
Better
a
life.
comfortable life. And we all want our children to be better than us. I mean, I want my children
I do.
to be better than me. But I don't restrict them because I have understanding. So as parents, you know, we can't force them to do one, two, or three career. Now, if you want to work, there are ways you can work with your child, but a lot of these intervention comes in between the ages of 0 and 10. That is a time when your voice is the strongest in your child's life. It's called the formative phase. That is where you do the work. You don't do the work at the point where they're about to choose they're doing their GCSEs or that kind of thing. So you do the work before. You expose them. So if you want them to become maybe a pilot, aeronautic engineer, you know, take them to aeroplane shows, take them to, you know, just expose them in that area, let them to speak with, let them be fascinated by it.
That's it.
That way, you're working on them, on their minds, and then they own it, they desire it. So you're not forcing them. And I want to encourage us parents, career choice should not cause problems between ourselves and our children. It shouldn't break the relationship with our children. For me, the most important thing is my relationship with my children, because at the end of the day, it's life that matters.
That's it.
It's life that matters. And if you do your research, you start discussing with your child early on. Okay, your child tells you they want to do arts. Okay, what is it arts you want to do? You know, what is the trajectory? Do you know where you're going? Get them to do the research with them, discuss with them, and find a career path in that area, supporting them to get good grades so that they can get into good universities and they will do well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we should invest in the relationship with our children. We shouldn't let choice of career or subjects, you know, create problems such that our children close up.
Thank you very much. You know something, anytime I have the opportunity to discuss with our teenagers, two questions they always ask me is, how do you know who you are? How do you set a goal? And this is what you've been saying. You have to know the end beat before you start. You know, just like God knows the end from the beginning. He knows the end from the beginning. Once you're starting something, you're thinking, where is this going to end me? Where is this going to take me? What do I want to achieve in doing this? And when you have that motive, that mindset, it's going to help you in whatever you're doing in life. So, Pauline, I am going to ask you these two questions.
Okay. I'll try and answer them as much as I can.
How did you know who was Pauline Panning, now Mrs. Lehman?
Okay.
How did you know who you are to be able to say, this is what I want to do? And how did you set yourself that goal to be able to achieve it?
Okay, all right. Now, my life trajectory is very different. I must tell you that I didn't get to where I am from being a child. Okay? From being a child, we were encouraged, my parents, invested much, just like any African parent, into helping your child do well in school. So they gave us the opportunities. Our parents wanted us, would ask us usually what do you want to do and things like that when we were younger. But then I used to think I wanted to become a pharmacist. But then I wasn't able to do that because I didn't get the grades I needed at A levels to be able to do it. So I then went on to study a degree in biology, then came to the UK, had a scholarship because I had a first class degree, had a scholarship, came to study in Manchester University, studied pollution and environmental control.
Wow.
And then, I know. I know. Yes, and then went on then to do the teacher training program.
Wow.
Again, due to external circumstances, I never knew I'd be a teacher in the UK. Okay, but that was one of the few options I had at the time due to lots of reasons I'm not going to talk about here now.
Yeah.
And then, in my career as a teacher, I then developed the passion, to help parents raise high-achieving children, and the passion for helping parents acquire positive parenting skills. So that's why I said my journey was not as straightforward. I wouldn't say that I am, what I am today. I thought about it as a teenager. Now, it is possible, however, for parents to be able to support their children such that as teenagers they know where they're going already, especially when all other factors are available for the child. So you are in this part of the world, your child has all the opportunities to do any course they want to do. They could study from, whatever you can think about, they would have it in a university in the UK. But where I came from in Cameroon at the time, we had just one university.
Wow.
Okay? So that is why I said my circumstances are very different to what we're talking about today. And at the time, that university had limited number of courses people could study. That is why I went on to Nigeria to do a degree in biology. So see, it's quite different. I don't know if I answered that question.
You did. But I just want you to, a teenager can stumble upon this field and will be saying, how can I know who I am or who I'm going to be? That's the question a lot of people have been asking. Who am I? Okay. How can I know who am I? Because who am I might inform me of what course or degree that I want to achieve in life. How can I set that goal to be able to achieve that?
Fantastic. So there's an activity I do when I work with young people. I get them to create a vision board. Okay? And it entails them seeing themselves in the next 15 to 20 years. Imagining what career they find themselves in. So usually it's a computer-based activity.
Okay.
So I give them a set of instructions. So you go out there on the internet, find a picture of a career you see yourself in. Okay? Of a person working in that career. Copy it and put it on. So usually it's a bit like an A3 sheet of paper. You cut and paste the different pictures. Okay, so think about what home you want to live in, what neighborhood you want to live in, what car you want to drive, what house you want to live in. Now, what you're doing, you're getting that child to think about the future. And in that process, they will say, okay, I thought I want to become maybe a teacher, for example. So I take a picture of a teacher and put there, okay, as a parent now, the next step would be how do you help them to move from where they are to getting there. So a lot of it would be through conversations, and we never really learn talking to our children about these things. Yes, some children you could pick up their strengths, you pick up, the things you think they'll be good at, the things they are passionate about. Some children, I met a young boy, I think it was 5 or so once. I visited some family, and this child was just fascinated about aeroplanes.
Wow.
And his dad bought him, he had a huge box of different type of models of aeroplanes.
Wow.
And he had books about aeroplanes. There's so much, so many resources he had around aeroplanes.
Wow.
I will not be surprised if that child eventually goes on to becoming a pilot or working in the aviation industry.
Yeah.
So that dad could pick up what the child's interest was at that point.
Wow.
So as parents, when we watch our children closely, we start to pick up what they like, because we succeed most in the things we're passionate
That's
about.
it.
So once you pick up the things your child is passionate about, then just start to expose them
Thank
to those
you.
things.
Thank you very much. I just want to heart that. I don't know what religion you do, but I believe so much. I'm a Christian and I believe so much in God. And I know that your creator might be the best place for you to get who you are. When you study the word very well, it's going to reveal to you if you're still struggling after all she has said, and you're still struggling to find out who you are. He will show you who you are, and he can direct you in the right path as well. And if you like anybody at all, on the social media, you think you like the way they talk, the way they do things, what they do, you can contact them and say, I like you, can you be my role model, and you can start a relationship from there. It is very, very good, because when you know who you are, it's going to make your life so easy and smoothly, because you won't have to struggle to go and do this, do that, before you eventually come to what you love to do. Please find you, because it's going to help you. When you know you find you'll be able to walk freely in you, because it is very good to be authentic and to be you. Thank you very much for that. People often say that you can be whatsoever you want to be if you are determined. So my question is this, Pauline, is determination the only ingredient that you need to succeed in life?
It's not the only ingredient. I won't say it is the only ingredient, but I think it's a very good and very strong starting point. Because for someone to be determined, it means that they know where they're heading to. So there is that strong desire, there is that vision or big goal that helps them to stay on course. So the other things that will help them, if a person is determined, would be the right mindset, knowing that on the journey to success, there are pitfalls. So sometimes we are down and then we rise up again. So with the right mindset, knowing I'm not going to give up, I want to start a business, it's not going to be smooth sailing, so I'm not going to give up. So that is determination to help that person not to give up. The work ethic is important. So you're determined, you need the right work ethic, which is working hard, positive attitude, resilience, focus, and all the other skills that go on with success, social skills, resilience, overcoming distractions, which is one of the most important things. So you could be determined but distracted, and that hinders you. So yes, determination is a very, very strong starting point.
Thank you.
But there are other things. And as you mentioned before, that if you're going on a journey, you're not the first person going on that journey.
No.
So find someone who's done it successfully. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Find a couple of people that have gone through that journey successfully. Learn from them. That is where we talk about informal learning, which is very, very important nowadays.
Yes.
For one to grow significantly, we need to be educating ourselves continuously. So whatever it is you are engaging yourself in, you need to educate yourself to position yourself to be competitive on the market.
Thank you. I love the fact that you mention all the skills when you are talking about the ingredients. So are there any other skills or ingredients that one needs to break all barriers in order to be successful in life? Because from our discussion this afternoon, we understand that it's not only through formal education that one can be successful in life. So what are other skills that we need to have to be able to be successful in life?
Okay. I would say self-discipline. Self-discipline for me comes right at the top, because we live in a world where we are very, very distracted, and sometimes the distractions take our focus away from our goal. So self-discipline is a useful skill. Time management is a useful skill. We spoke about social skills. You know, if you're in business, you need amazing social skills to be able to get new clients. So social skills are very, very key. There you need resilience, you need organization, and they are needed in different amounts depending on the industry people are working in. Yes, but there are definitely, these skills are really, really important. Yes, the work ethic. Very, very important.
Very important,
yes.
that. So what is the role of a parent in acquiring these skills?
Okay. As a parent, you play a very, very important role. Why? Because you are raising up your child. So your child is with you for the first 18 years of their lives, and you are handing them over to adulthood at age 18. So during that time, if you are intentional enough, you will work on some of these skills as your child grows up. For a lot of people, unfortunately, we learned them as adults, including me. Okay? Now, as a parent, for example, how can you intentionally teach your child an important skill like goal setting? Okay? You could have your 4 or 5 year old, and the goal could be, this week we're going to work on tidying up your toys after playing. If your child maybe just plays and leave the toys there. So, okay, we're going to set ourselves a goal and see how we go by the end of the week. It could be making up their bed. It could be little things like that. You teach them to set goals and what are they going to do to accomplish it. So you're going to maybe want to read your Bible. You want to teach them or get them into reading the Bible. What can you do? You could talk to your child about, okay, we want to set a Bible reading goal every day. Okay, the goals could be, I'm going to read my Bible every day. But that's not really helping them set it. We need to be specific. When will you read it? At what time?
What time?
Would it be on your way to school in the bus or in the car? Or would it be first thing in the morning or before you go to bed? Or maybe at break time? And that way, we see if they stick to their plan, and at the end of the week we assess it. That way we are teaching our children how to set goals. It could be taking responsibility, for example. One of the things that help children take responsibility is giving them chores. So you're responsible for this chore, help them take charge of certain things at home, maybe organize few family events. That is giving them responsibility, because with responsibility comes accountability. So, and when they fail, we are patient enough to bring them back to the right track and discuss why it didn't go as planned. So that way you as a parent are teaching children some of the skills that will become important as when they become adults. And as you do that regularly, you don't do it once and stop. It's something that in your parenting you are intentional about, and you're doing it throughout your child's stay at home. Now, one thing I must say here is that you need to be intentional. So you need to identify, what is it I want to achieve? What do I want to instill in my children? Secondly, have I got it? Because if you don't have it, then
you can't give it.
You will not even expect your child to do it. Okay, so that might mean you working on yourself. I tell you, personal development is so important. My life has been completely transformed as you know, from the time I started my journey of personal development. And my children will tell you, Mom, you are a different person today. Yes? So as you develop yourself, you're not just benefiting yourself, you're benefiting your children, you're benefiting your spouse. Your relationship with your spouse gets better. Your relationship with people in the community gets better, because you become a better version of yourself. So when you work on yourself, so I like to be honest. I'm not hypocritical. I am very, very self-reflective person. So I think internally about the things I do. And when I don't do a talk, I come and reflect. How did it go? What could I do differently? Okay, and then I try to improve next time. So we should always be in that constant state of self-reflection, because nobody is perfect. And we have to be willing to grow. And when you grow, then you can help your child.
That's
If
it.
you're not organized, maybe in your home, you don't make up your bed in the morning, things are all over the place, then you expect your children to follow suit. But when you organize, then you can then support your child in improving in that area.
Thank you.
You get what I mean?
Yes. Thank you. All what she's just said is for you to be a good role model.
Yes.
You know, sometimes when we're talking about role model, we always want our children to point at other people. But why can't they call you first before calling other people
That's
in
right,
their
yes.
life? You know, try to lead by example. I always tell people that a good leader is somebody that leads by example.
That's right, yes.
It's really good. Thank you very much for that, Pauline. Some people easily give up, Pauline, struggling because of the absence of parents. One parent or the other, maybe the father is around, the mother is not there, or the mother is there, the father is not there, and they give up struggling because there is no encouragers, nobody to motivate them, to encourage them to keep going. There is no finance or role model. We just talked about role model now. How can they be helped, or how can they help themselves to achieve or to be the better version of themselves?
Okay, so we're talking here about children who don't have parents at home. Okay, I think it's as much as we can as parents, we need to be there for our children, because we prayed for these children. God gave us these wonderful gifts. We need to be there for them. I know financially some people have to work hard. But I think if people are in a two-parent family, one person can slow down a bit to be there for the children. Now, if you're not there for your child, then find, we are in community. So community is really important. There's an adage that says, I think it's an African proverb, that it takes a village to raise a child. So if as a parent you cannot be there, then get someone else to step in for you and support for you. But I think it's not fair on the children for someone else to be doing it for you all the time, because it is your responsibility. The word of God says, train up a child in the way he should go. So it's your responsibility to train up your child. Now you're talking about how can the children become motivated. The children, again, the community will have to support. Community is really, really important. I encourage people, we don't easily succeed on our own. We need community. So such that at the times when we are weak, when we need someone to step in, there is some other shoulder to lean on. So let's take advantage of community, and let us as community leaders be intentional about supporting, especially the single parent families. It's not easy raising up children on, as a single parent. So these sort of families need a lot of support. So community leaders, if we step in, if we work together to support these families, it's going to go a long way to, provide the support that these young people need.
Thank you very much. Pauline, again, I believe that nobody desire or have or set out to fail in life, but some people stop trying because they are underachieved. They tried and they're not getting the grades they want. Nothing is just working for them, and they just want to give up. How can we, support these ones not to give up because they are underachieving? Okay,
so when a child is underachieving, I think the strongest force there is the force of positivity. So let's, especially as parents or as guardians, as adults that are involved in these children's lives, it could be within the community, the homes of the families, let us, help these children regain that sense of self-belief, because they may failing a test. I always say failing a test does not make a child a failure.
Thank you.
A grade does not define a child, because when I look at the human brain is amazing. It's got capacity. And as young people or children, there are different things that affect a person's ability to succeed at one point in time or the other. I told you, I was talking about my life, and I said I didn't get the grades to do fine. I said I didn't do well at A-levels. It's because I was distracted. I was completely thrown away by other things. My year was wasted, and I didn't do well. However, I went on to do a degree program through an access program. And then through my dad's friend who promised me, you know, if you get a first class degree, I'll give you a scholarship to go to America. That is what motivated me. I kept aside all the distractions and I put my head down and I studied and I got a first class degree.
Wow.
I could study any course if I put my mind to it. So we cannot tag people as, or label people because they don't do well in tests. So a child that achieves needs more encouragement than consequences. So encourage them, talk to the child about what happened, why did it happen, how can I help you, how can I support you. And if you say as a parent, I don't know, I'm not maybe educated, I don't know what to do, there are lots of other helps out there. Send, make an appointment with the child's teacher. Request for the school teacher to provide that extra support. Get a tutor for your child. Again, take advantage of people in the community who can help. There is always someone who can help, but what your child doesn't need is negativity. It limits them.
Thank you. Fear is of the devil. And anyone that yields to fear will not make it in life. And this goes to adults as well. Sometimes we've tried different businesses and nothing is working. It's like, is the devil attacking me or something? No, the devil is not attacking you. Sometimes you have to do things 100 times to get it right, and that does not make you to be a failure. One thing you don't want to be saying to yourself is, I am a failure, I have failed. You need confidence to keep going, to keep putting yourself out there, and to be the best version of yourself. And that is why you cannot afford to miss my next program. Be a brand, be beautiful, on the 24th of September, this Saturday from 12 to 5 p.m. You cannot afford to miss it. I don't know what your story has been. Your story is about to change from this Saturday. You just need to come and meet with the CEOs and come and hear the stories. I love to tell stories. I love people to tell us the story of how they've done it, so that we can probably copy them. And be better, So come out on the 24th of September and be beautiful, be your best. That's what it means. Be you to the fullness. That is what I have vowed to help people with in this my lifetime. For them, anybody that come in contact with me will be themselves to the fullness. So come and be yourself to the fullness at this event. Be a brand. And you also have the opportunity to sell your brand, products, services, vision, whatsoever that you've got, business. You come and tell us about it. We want to hear you speak on the 24th of September. Do you lack confidence? We're going to boost your confidence on that day, because after my guest speakers, oh my God, you will remain the same. You will just put yourself out there. On the 24th of September, you cannot afford to miss it. And don't forget to get my book, Be Beautiful, is still on Amazon. You can get it on my website as well, beautifulmindonline.org, beautifulmindonline.org. And you can get it on Amazon as well. It's on Kindle. You can read it if you want. I still want to hear your reviews. When I read your reviews as well, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Yes. So please help us go and get it. And on the 29th of September, Sailing Point is going to Bolton. Yes, if you live around Bolton, yes, I want to see you to come and see my latest movie. We're still taking it around, and if you want us to bring it to your event, your community event or your church, just get in contact with me on 079-603-91983. And Green Jean, yes, is gonna be happening on the 28th of September, next upper week Saturday. I believe it's gonna be my guest next week. Yes, Adeomi Adesa, the man behind Green Jean. You don't want to miss that show next week. Wow, I'm not gonna end the show without asking you this question, Pauline. Some people say that life is a game. Can you please give us some tips that can be taken or for us to take in order to enhance our chances of winning in this game of life. Because when you're in a game, I believe you're in it to win.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we need to win at
Yes.
whatever we do?
Whatever you do.
It start by working on us. Okay, that's always the starting point, you know. It's a quote that says, attitude is everything. So your mindset is what limits people in most of the time. I can't do this, I don't see myself as bad, and once you are limited in your mind, you can't go to the next level. Next, you work on yourself. Be self-reflective, see where are you going? What are the skills needed? Have I got them? I tell you, there is no skill that you can't learn. I invested in myself. I had coaches. I learned public speaking. So you can be anything. I mean, I had a friend who once said, "Oh, Pauline, I knew you used to be quiet. I didn't know you could speak." It's the power of personal development.
Wow.
Invest in yourself. Have the right work ethic. Surround yourself by people who believe in you, by people who challenge you, by people who are going in the direction you are going. And most of all, trust in God. You know, the Word of God is powerful. I still love the Word of God because it has everything in it that we need along the journey to our chosen, destination. So I think, I've mentioned most of the things that come to my head.
Yeah, I just want to add that, for you to win in life, you have to start by renewing your mind. Because some of us, our minds are full of junks, full of self-doubt, limiting us. We can't do it. I can't. I hate the word. I tell my children, I hate the word I can't. Replace it with something else because you can't. There is nothing you cannot do. Don't compare yourself with other people and don't try to compete with other people. I am not saying do not compete. If you have to compete with yourself, but not with other people. And you will get to your destination. This was sent in last week and we have to read this out. As a Christian, it is so embarrassing to find myself struggling with what others find easy to understand. I can't understand why I remain an average student despite my effort. I was determined to use the opportunity of my last GCSE exams to prove to myself that I could do it. I prayed and studied hard. I was determined to make my parents proud, but it didn't work out for me. I felt I deserved more because of the amount of effort I put in. Can God not help pass exams, bearing the fact that I studied well and faithfully applied his words?
Oh, wow.
I know.
I like the last part of the question. Can God not help? I believe that God helps, but God has to work on something. So I used to have students who said, when they didn't do well in the test, they would say, "Oh, Miss, I really studied hard for this test." And then I then say to them, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard did you study? So when students don't achieve, we want to be asking several questions. Okay, you studied hard, meaning that you were sat in front of your books, for a lot of, many hours. Now, are you using the right strategies? Because I tell you, a lot of students haven't got good study skills. So good study skills are important. Good study habits are important. Ensuring that you understand exam techniques is really key, and it contributes to A-star and A students doing well. Exam techniques. So you have a set of factors. Are you a sort of student that maybe started studying hard 1 month to the exam? Now you're doing GCSEs. It's a 2-year program. Okay, I used to do workshops with young people to help them prepare for these exams. You need to start from your first term in year 11. The content is enormous, I must say. It's huge. So if as a student you're going to start to study maybe in March, April, start to really study seriously the contents from year 10, then I say you're setting yourself up not to get the high grades. So we need to be working both on the year 10 work. So it needs organization. It needs more. So that question, yes, it's a question, but it doesn't give me a lot of information to help me answer. God will help. God is there. You know, God has given us everything. His grace is there for us as children of God. But when you have a question in front of you and you didn't study a topic, for example, how will God help you remember the content? So when you position yourself right,
Yeah.
you've done your own bit.
Yeah.
Then God will then come and help you understand the question and know how to write down the answers. I don't know if you have any other magical answer for that question.
No, you've said it all. You've said it all. I pray, we all pray, and sometimes we don't, some of us, we don't plan. And when we don't plan, we blame it on God. Do you understand?
That's right, yeah.
We have to take that responsibility. You said something that you have to have a technique for reading, for studying.
Study
And,
skills, yeah.
some people don't. And this is why you have to go and see Olin or speak to her after this program, if you need to know about the techniques for you to study.
I'm putting up a study skills workshop. I just wanted to say that, I do work with parents. I coach and mentor parents. If you have, any questions, you want me to work with you, please, you can inbox me, connect with me on Facebook. I have 2 Facebook pages, Star Richards Community Initiative, which is where I share everything to do with education, empowering parents, and then I have the Intentional Parents Club, which is why I work with, it's a group there, that one. I work with parents in that group, sharing things to do with positive parenting. So please connect with me in one of those platforms and feel free to contact me. I work with young people and I work with parents. So I'll be putting up a study skills workshop in the next couple of weeks. So if you connect with me, then you will be able to know when it comes. But I'm going to put it on social media anyway so everyone can see it.
Thank you very much, Princess Folakemi. In fact, she's been, following us, writing everything. I do really appreciate it. Modipe Daniel, all the way from Canada, thank you very much for joining us. Yes, if I can't see you, Adebola, thank you very much for joining us. If I can't see you, that means you didn't drop us a message or anything. You didn't say I or what you are watching from. Please help us share this video, because I believe a lot of people need to see this video. We've shared some truths this afternoon that can help people to achieve their potentials and to get to that destination of life. Right, I have to read this. I don't want people to skim me after this program. My parents believe that being a medical doctor, an engineer, a lawyer is the best way to have a good life. Best way to a good life and a fulfilling future. Beautiful mind, I am trying my best, but it seems as if my best is not good enough. Could it be that academics is not for me? Am I cursed? Pauline,
Oh my God,
I
no,
know.
you're not cursed. And can I just say, what is your best? It comes back to this question I said before. Are you using the right techniques and so on? So I'd like such a student to, maybe connect with me, maybe inbox me, and we'll talk about you are not cursed. And don't feel down or bad about yourself. And medicine, law, and what was the third one? Are not the only way to success. I tell you,
engineer.
I tell you, there are a huge array of careers out there that you can do. You can focus on your strength and develop that into a really good, financially rewarding career. So you are not cursed, my dear.
Sorry, you're in California. I'm so sorry for that. Yes. Yeah, this is the last one. Mary wrote this to us, said that society is biased towards black people. I am a teacher by profession, but I've not been able to secure a job for 3 years. I'm beginning to think it's because I am black, not born in this country. I have an African name and accent. Most of my graduate friends with African names are also struggling to get good jobs apart from those in the medical field. Please, what can I do?
Oh, wow. Okay. Right. I was a teacher as well, African, with an accent.
You have an accent.
I had an accent when I started. Maybe working with children, I've kind of like got to want to speak the way this, in a way that they can understand. Yes, but it shouldn't limit you. I think just open vast your cast your net wide. So don't limit yourself to, I don't know if you're in Manchester or wherever you are, apply for jobs in different places. Start maybe with supply teaching. With that, it gives you get into a school, as you prove yourself, a position can come up, you can apply in that school. But if you really want to stay within education, then get into supply teaching, look for jobs, get onto the TES, look at all the job opportunities out there, and just keep applying. Don't give up. You are unique, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and there is no limit. I know many African teachers in the UK, working in the UK in education. So I don't think it's because you're black. I don't think so. Black teachers are needed. We need a lot of African teachers because we can connect with those children and we are role models for them. So please don't give up on your goal. Yeah?
Thank you very much. I just want to add just one line to what she has said. It is only you that can stop you. Nobody can stop you. You can be whatsoever that you want to be in life. So please change that mindset. Maybe those jobs that you've applied for are not meant for you. Keep looking. You will surely get one that is appropriate for you, that suits your lifestyle. Sometimes you get a job, the money is fantastic, everything, but it doesn't suit our family.
That's right.
And probably God is saving you for the good and for the best. So please don't change that mindset, because when we have that mindset that they're not going to pick me because of this, we've put that blockade there, we can't move forward in life. We need to take all those things away. Right, we've come to the end of today's show. I hope we have been able to bless you one way or the other. I have been blessed myself, and I believe you have been as well. Please help us to share this video, because I believe a lot of people, a lot of parents, even teachers, children, they need to see this video to be able to, we've talked about so many things that they can pick one or two things from. So please do not keep this video to yourself on your wall. You need to help us share this out so that other people will see. Is there anything you want to say to my viewers before we round up?
Yes, I want to say, the title is Barrier to Success. I want to encourage you as a parent, as a young person watching, there are no barriers to success apart from you. So go and shine.
Wow, I love that. Keep shining. How can they connect with you if they want to connect with you?
Yes, okay. As I said before, you can inbox me. You can like my page, Star Richards Community Initiative, or join the Intentional Parents Club. Again, as I said before, I mentor young people. I mentor parents. Whatever it is the need is, please don't hesitate to contact me if you want me to support you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm going to talk about my event again. Beautiful event is a life-changing event where you will discover you. How to break through limitations. We've talked about success today, and we know that there are limitations. And at this event, you will discover you will discover how to break through limitation, how to create wealth and the opportunity to promote your brand, because we are talking about being a brand. And for you to be a brand, we want to give you that opportunity to start from our platform, to be able to sell your products, your services, your vision, your business, whatsoever that you've got that you think is a brand. We want you to bring it on the table on that day, and we want to hear from you. Yes. Oh yes, my general overseer is going to be in New Covenant Church on that same day. Venue, New Covenant Church, Manchester. So come and be blessed. And after receiving all the blessing, you come and manifest, and you come and get more equipped and go out there to be you. I have great speakers who are ready to share with us on that day. They are not holding back. I have people like Omale, Andrew Omale, Olushola Omale, Philippa Jackson, Bola Akonde, Victor Sunday, and Otilia Antonio. Yes, she was so impressed when I put her on board. She was like, oh my God, Auntie, this is one of the events that I have young adults coming on to be a speaker, because when adults are doing things, they just forget about the young adults. And I thought, no, I'm not like that. I want we can learn from each other.
Sure.
That's what I believe. And she was so pleased, and impressed. So please come and learn from her a lot of things. And the venue is at Holiday Inn, 888 Oldham Road, Newton East, Manchester. And the postcode is M42BS. The time is from 12 to 5 p.m. From 12 to 1, networking, and from 4 to 5 is time to market yourself. So please, you can't afford to miss this event. And guess what? This event is absolutely free. I can't believe it, bringing all this woman. A woman's coming all the way from London, and we are doing this event free. I can't believe it. Seriously, I can't believe it. So, but we want you to get the best. So please, I want to see you on there. Green Jean, One Culture, Manchester, one stop for a family event. On the 28th of September is a night of drama, dance, music, comedy, food, and networking. Again, this event is promoting peace and unity in our community through celebration of our diverse cultural heritage. Guess what? This event is free again for children from 0 to 16 years, and adults will have to pay just £15. You have a lot of things. You can't, oh my God, you can't afford to miss this event. And the date is on the 28th of September. Yes, 7 points is going to Bolton. New Covenant Church in Bolton on the 29th of September. I will be in Bolton. If you live or around Bolton on the 29th, come and join us at New Covenant Church, Manchester. We will be there. Go and get my book on my website, www.beautifulmindonline.org. Why I've talked so much, I have to go now. Thank you very much. I love you all. I do love you all. And until next week, before I go, pardon my manners, I want to say thank you to my producer for putting all of this together. AY, the ambassador, is done so much. Bless you. That's my Oga at the top. Yes, I give it to him. Thank you very much. Love you. And to you all out there, always being there for us. Thank you. I love you all. Until next week, when I'll be bringing another informative and educative topic your way. I remain your host, Adeyemi. Bye for now. Thank you.
That was good.